How do you introduce your own daughter without A, embarrassing her, too late, B, crying, also too late, or C, sounding like you're bragging? I clearly have no control over A and B, and the answer to C, I guess, is you don't. So I've decided I'm going to at least try to sound modest by disguising my mom bragging with a few fun facts. Fun fact number 1 about Sophie Constantino. If you've ever heard me cheering Sophie on at a soccer game or an indoor or outdoor track meet, you know that at home, we don't actually call her Sophie. Thanks to her little sister Lucy, we call her Dee Dee. You see how I just did that? I just boasted about Sophie being an accomplished 3-season student athlete with 4 years of high school soccer, 5 seasons of varsity indoor track, and 6 seasons of varsity outdoor track, but I disguised it with a fun fact. I bet you hardly even noticed I was bragging. Most of you already know that Dee Dee is an accomplished soccer player. She's the highest scoring player on the girls' varsity soccer team this year, with 23 goals and 9 assists. Sophie was named a CBS Channel 6 Impact Player. She was named to the first team Foothills and the 5th team All-State by the New York State Sports Writers Association. Sophie's been recruited to play for the women's varsity soccer team at SUNY New Paltz next year. And if you are her teammate, you know that there is nothing that makes Sophie prouder than being on the field with you. But, fun fact number 2, you may be surprised to know that Sophie actually quit soccer after 1 year of playing rec in kindergarten. She said soccer was boring. If you've ever heard Sophie sing, if you were at Song Time a couple weeks ago, you know that she has an exceptional voice. At one point, she actually considered majoring in voice in college next year, until she realized that majoring in French would get her the big bucks. This leads me to fun fact number 3. In 1st grade, her teacher sent a note home saying what a pleasure Sophie was to have in class, and what a beautiful voice she had, but that her constant singing was disruptive to the class, and could I please ask her to tone it down? In the end, Sophie's decided on a French major with a minor in broadcast communications, which will likely come as no surprise to those of you who remember Sophie as the face of the MSBC morning program in middle school. When you see Sophie's name in the program today, you'll see that her middle name is Noelle. That's because she was born the week before Christmas. And this makes Sophie, fun fact number 4, the 2nd youngest member of her senior cohort. You might also be interested to know that Sophie is a member of the very first graduating class of Young Scholars, and one of only 3 Hispanic students graduating today. And finally, fun fact number 5. When asked which faculty member she would have invited to introduce her if she hadn't asked her mom, Sophie had a very hard time deciding, but she ultimately named her 9th grade global honors teacher, Mr. Crounce, her guidance counselor and soccer coach, Coach Williams, or her Corollaires director, Mrs. Creasy. Now, here's the funny part about that. Mrs. Creasy, who directed Sophie in Corollaires, was a student of mine in 1995, the year I was pregnant with Sophie. So I'm guessing I've gone over my 2 minutes, but I'm pretty sure there isn't a mom or dad in the place who, if given a microphone and a captive audience, could talk about their kid in under 2 minutes. And frankly, most of you know I never talk about anything in under 2 minutes anyway. So I'll leave you with this. If you know me well, you know that I'm a big fan of the Post-it note. When Sophie was little, I would put a Post-it note in her school lunch every day, sometimes with a note wishing her a good day, or a trivia question, or a fun fact. Today, I'll be leaving a Post-it note on the podium that says, "Break a leg, Dee Dee. Love, Mom." Members of the class of 2013, please join me in welcoming today's first graduation speaker, our student, your friend, your classmate, your teammate, and my kid, Sophie Constantino.
faculty, and congratulations to the class of 2013. When my French teacher assigned us the homework for the night, she reminded me to be home right after soccer practice because I had to clean my room. On my way to the locker room after school, I waved to the mayor, who was helping one of his students finish the repairs on a lawnmower engine. At practice, my coach reminded me that I needed to deliver my college essay to her in the guidance office by the end of the month. Where I come from, I called my French teacher Mom, the technology teacher Mayor, and my guidance counselor Coach. When the late Margaret Thatcher became Prime Minister of Great Britain, she said, "It's passionately interesting for me that the things I learned in a small town, in a very modest home, are just the things that I believe have won the election." Margaret Thatcher's upbringing made her what she was, just as Scotia Glenville makes us what we are. When our star football player died suddenly, someone spray-painted his name and jersey number on the train bridge by Frankenstein's. Each year, when the village public works repaints the overpass, they leave the name untouched. When the Mohawk River spilled over into jumping jacks and into the baseball fields and submerged the hill behind the Scotia Library where we sled, we marched in boots with buckets and shoveled mud. Where we come from, we look out for each other. During Spirit Week, we decorated hallways, dressed in costumes, and sang our alma mater at the pep rally. Ever since we were little, the fire department has been delivering donuts and cider in their trucks at stops around the village on Halloween. The day before Christmas break, we stood up and sat down over and over again as we sang the 12 Days of Christmas. When a new principal and new athletic director came on board this year, we made sure to welcome them as Tartans and teach them our customs. Where we come from, tradition is everything. Where we are going, people will come from all over, different states, different countries, different cultures. They'll sit next to us in our lecture centers and eat with us at our dining halls. They'll meet with us in study groups, and together we'll cheer on our roommates from the bleachers. With some of us, they will suffer through early mornings and long marches at basic training in preparation for deployment, or join in celebrating our first paychecks at our first jobs. We'll talk about our high schools, our exes, and our favorite teachers. We'll tell them stories about Squirrel Day, Field Day, and free chill zone days at Cumbies. Where we are going, we'll meet people who may not speak English. They'll speak French or Farsi or Mandarin. We'll meet people who will help us fight for our country, run for office, or find a cure for cancer. They'll share stories about their hometowns with us, and we'll teach them about our Halloween, Jack Burgers, and Spirit Week. Wherever we are going, whether we are packing the car to head off to college, spending a year abroad, starting a first real job, or building a home, the film freshman costumes, the dog pound, and last but not least, chilled milk will come with us. These things will be more than just memories to us. They will represent our profound sense of community, goodwill, and tradition. They are pieces of who we are as Tartans, and Tartans we will always be. Let us be eager to share our traditions with the members of our new communities, and be as eager to learn about theirs. After all, shouldn't where we come from always be a part of where we are going? Congratulations again to the class of 2013.